Good morning. So today's day 27 of 28 Vegans. And to be honest with you, I can't believe that this series is wrapping up already, but today is not just day 27. Today just happens to be my guest's birthday today. So today I'm going to have on Renee from Rowdy Girl Sanctuary, and I hope everyone will join me in wishing her the happiest of birthdays. She is 61 today, and I tell you what, she's still kicking ass and taking names and doing what she does because that's how she works. I love her her attitude and her humor and her dedication to what she's doing because it's so important. And I look forward to having this conversation with her. So she is just, if you're not familiar with Renee, she has this light and this ball of energy about her that's just infectious and makes you want to just, change the world. And that's what she's working on. She is doing things out there that I'm excited to have her come on and share her story, and she'll be with us in just a minute. So Jennifer, she just said that Renee is a force. That is a great definition of hers, because when she puts her mind to something, she's gonna do it. I love her whole persona, her attitude, her view on life, and she doesn't sugarcoat anything. She doesn't, she's not going to, water it down for anybody. So, and that's one of the things I appreciate about her, and one of the reasons why I invited her to come on to 28 Vegans to share her story. And when she and I first started talking about doing this, one of the things I suggested is, why don't you come on the 27th for your birthday? So, thankfully, she's got some time this morning that she's going to put aside for us, and we'll bring her on here in just a few minutes as soon as she joins us. It's been winding down as far as the end of this, but this has been a lot of fun doing this, talking to a lot of incredible vegans, talking to some folks and hearing their amazing stories, because they are all different, and it's so important that we share these stories. And Renee's, man, I tell you what, she cracks me up, but what she is doing is so important. So I see Rowdy Girl Sanctuary just joined, so she's going to send a request, and let me bring her in here. And there we go.
Hi, Renee. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. First off, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that today is your birthday, and I wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday to me, and happy birthday to everybody else out there that's born on Feb 27th.
It must be a great day, yeah?
Well, it's always, I've always liked it. I've been into, all kinds of numerology and astrology in the past, so, it has some pretty good vibrations.
Well, I definitely love your vibrations that you're putting out there, because you are just, Jennifer said that you are a force of nature, and that is a great description of you, and I just love your mentality. You are going to seize the day and take control and do what you got to do to make things right, and I absolutely love it.
Oh,
so,
I think, I appreciate that. I get told that same thing a lot, that I'm a force of nature. God, we all are, it's just how are we using and directing our force? Every single one of us out there has the capacity and the power to be powerful, a powerful force. Yes.
Yes, we do. And I love how you light that fire for other people and share that, because it's important that you find your own journey, your own purpose, and shine your light and shine it as bright as you can.
Yes,
so,
don't hide it under a bushel. We were told that a long time ago.
Now, so you said, it's a good thing that the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You said you're happy that's not true, because apparently you and Tommy learned some new tricks.
Yeah. You can definitely teach old dogs new tricks, even though I don't particularly consider myself, quote unquote old.
No.
I've never been one that's afraid to learn new things. You'll never hear that come out of my mouth ever. I'm real careful about what I say to myself, and especially what I speak out loud.
Sometimes my mouth gets me in trouble because I get all tongue-tied and I jump all over the place. But you never know what's going to come out of mine. But something you shared the other day that I'd seen for the first time was a story where you were in Buc-ee's and you were asking them for some almond creamer. And I tell you what, Tommy's response, because the clerk had no idea you're all together, and you were asking for it, and you said you like cow titting juice in your milk and your coffee. And the clerk had no idea how to handle you and how to respond. And God love Tommy for saying, damn vegans, and as you walked away.
Yeah, you just never know. Tommy's always like, when we pull up to any store or go anywhere, he's always like a little bit shy, hangs back because he's like, okay, what's going to come out of her mouth now? Because I use every opportunity as a way to do outreach for animals. I mean, anything that works. And, something that's really started working, in my world as an activist is this kind of satire humor. And it comes real natural for me. I just kind of like speak it out loud, but you just never know what I'm going to say. So I even don't know what I'm going to say. So, if I was going to try to repeat it, I probably couldn't. I better write the scripts as we go if I want to repeat myself.
Some of the things that come across your plate and, you throw out there to the world to enjoy have been wonderful. And I think that resonates with a lot of people because you are so real. And so my wife just said she has no idea whatever's going to come out of my mouth.
Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, my mother had that problem my whole life. I mean, she was like, hey, come on, what did you just say? I'm like, I don't know. What did I say?
I am who I am, and I can't apologize for that, and I'm not gonna. So, for folks who don't know your story, so you used to run around the house and call Tommy a murderer because you all used to, send cows to the sale barn. For folks who aren't aware, or maybe some of my followers who don't know who you are, would you care to share kind of how you all got started and how Rowdy Girl got started?
Well, sure. Yeah, I didn't start calling Tommy a murderer until I was 100% convinced that he was. And indeed, I see that today, that animals that are in the factory farm system are indeed murdered. I see it that way. Okay. And that's what propels me onward. I don't have an escape route in my brain for thinking, well, okay, it's just a choice. But getting back to your question, it wasn't always this way. I'm Texan. I was born Texan. I had a collection of leather boots. I went to the rodeo. I mean, every year the rodeo was a big deal since I could barely walk. I remember seeing Elvis Presley, at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and many years. And it was a big deal to go to the rodeo. That was part of our Texas culture. And never did it cross my mind that the Houston Rodeo, which is an icon, was cruel. Yeah. And then to see Danny Alexander, who was here yesterday in my home, she is one of the most shining stars, as far as I'm concerned, of animal activism in Houston. When she was here yesterday, and she's been doing a hell of a job doing activism at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo this year. So the big change for me is knowing that at one time in my life, I saw the rodeo as fun, as traditional, as something I'm going to do every year, meet my friends there, be on committees, and today, years later as a vegan, I see it as one of the most cruel, vile entertainment known to man. I really see it as horrible. And so it's not that, so what is it really? What is it really? It's really whatever we perceive it to be. And so what happened for me when I started transitioning to vegan, I didn't know I was becoming a vegan. But what was happening is all those layers and layers and layers of conditioning, tradition, culture, religion, education, media, everything imaginable that gets layered and layered and layered and layered and layered on top of us since the time we're born, or actually when we're even in embryo. When we're even in embryo, we are being bombarded with messages all the time in our surroundings. The difference is in embryo, we don't have a ability to fend it off because our central nervous system is not yet developed. And so because of that, we don't supply the serotonin, the dopamine, and all that we do as fully functioned, bodies, humans. In embryo, there's no barrier. So we get these impressions, we get this information, and just like a computer, we are programmed into our society to be and function exactly exactly as we are taught and programmed. And so what happened for me when I started going vegan, I didn't know I was a transitioning vegan. Rowdy Girl, a cow, was my vegan advocate. And so she is the one that caused me to see all of the cows and the babies as sentient beings. And it was my relationship to animals that I normally eat that began to change my perception, that began to go deep into my psyche so that I was able to access who I really am, which is vegan. We all are really vegan. See,
Yes.
That's why I have so much patience with people. That's why I do the things that I do. Excuse me. It's because I know for a fact that we're all vegan. It's just, how do we communicate with people so that we can get them to themselves? If you try to force it on people, it'll never work. But if you go in the back door of their own mind, which is what happened with me and Tommy, I began to go in the back door of his mind. I would say things like, so why don't we eat our own cows? You know, I started questioning, this is before I went vegan, why don't we eat our own cows? And he was like, don't ask me that. That's not a question that you should be asking me. I'm like, well, why not? Because I don't want to answer it. I'm like, oh, okay. So I didn't get that answer the first time I asked, but another time when I asked, why don't we eat our own cows? I want to know, why are we buying meat from Whole Foods or Kroger or HEB or any of these stores, paying all these prices when we have quote unquote, quote, humane grass-fed beef out there in our pasture? Why aren't we killing our own animals and eating them? See, this was going in his back door because I was asking him a question he was having to consider and answer.
Yeah.
And finally he did. He said, Renee, because I know them. I can't eat animals I know. I'm like, well, that's just, you know, I don't want to use the word F on your show, but that's just messed up.
It wouldn't be the first time.
But that's messed up. And so I was like, oh, I get it. And I already knew the answer. But if I told him that I knew the answer, he would have never gotten there on his own. So when he got there and he said what he did, I was like, okay, well, that does it. We're gonna kill one of our animals. Which is it gonna be? Pick one. And I wasn't vegan yet. I was transitioning and didn't even know it. I kept trying to justify, rationalize, make everything we were doing as ranchers okay. And not only okay, but, you know, very respected, you know, because ranchers are respectable people in our communities. They're given big, powerful positions in our world, especially like in FFA and 4-H. You know, we really have been taught and trained to honor and respect the ranching community. So when ranchers and farmers are looked down on, and they're communicated to in a way that causes them to retaliate, you'll never reach them. That's why we have been so effective and why the Barretts are going to be and are so effective.
Yes.
And, you know, folks like Craig Watts in North Carolina, folks like Starlove Ranch, you know, Davey and Holly Shockerell in Giddings, Texas, folks like the Trailers in Huntsville, Texas. These folks, actual ranchers, actual farmers, are now beginning to see the ethical dilemma of what they've been doing and believing in for not only their lifetime, but what has been believed for generations. So I got there. And when I got there, it was like Katie bar the door. Because when I finally went vegan, it was at my mother-in-law's, and she had fixed a big pot of beef stew. That day, I had watched Melanie Joy's dissertation on carnism. If you haven't seen it, Dr. Melanie Joy has an amazing dissertation on carnism where she talks about a family that's sitting down and they're all enjoying a family dinner of beef stew. Have you seen that?
I have not, but I will definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, they're all having a big, celebration of some sort, and beef stew is being, shared in the big bowl, the big pot in the middle, and everything's about the beef stew. And then somebody says, well, what's the recipe? And the lady of the house says, well, you start out with a pound of very young golden retriever. Okay. Instantly, perceptions are changed. Instantly, what you thought you were eating becomes a baby puppy, a golden retriever, for God's sakes. And so everybody stops eating, chokes, wants to vomit. And, so what changed? The food didn't change. Perception changed. So for whatever reason, when I saw that, it was the perfect climax for me to go vegan, because I had been, prior to that point, trying to figure out every which way in the world I could do this and be okay. And that was the final straw. And I didn't know it, but I was just like shocked. I shut down my computer, went to my mother-in-law's, and she was serving beef stew. And it couldn't have been more perfect. I looked at the stew. I started vibrating. Seriously, I was just like, oh my God, I can't eat that. That's what I said. And she, I didn't even know whether she asked me. I think she did ask me. I'm pretty sure she did. But I really don't remember saying it to her. I just said it out loud. Oh my God, I can't eat that. And the universe knew. I knew that was it. And she said, well, Renee, you can pick it out. I said, no, ma'am. No, there's no more picking it out for me. And she said, well, why won't you eat it? I said, because it's got floating, dead, hacked up animal parts in it. And everybody in the room stopped talking. Everybody was talking prior to that, having a good time. The kids were running around in their costumes. As soon as I said, because it's got floating, dead, hacked up animal parts in it, everybody stopped, looked at me like I had just, dropped the F-bomb in front of kids. And I said, well, it does, and everybody was just like shocked that I called it out like that. My mother-in-law says, well, Renee, you can pick it out. And I said, no, ma'am, there's no more picking it out. And that's the moment. It was October 31st, 2014. I went vegan. I know that's a long answer, but it's a process.
That is a wonderful answer. I love that story. You are absolutely right. It's all about perception. I think it's Live Kindly, or somebody did a video where they were doing taste samples of a new milk, and people were drinking it, and they're like, oh, it's really sweet, it's really smooth, I like it, it's better than dairy milk. They were all excited, and they said, well, what is it? And they're like, oh, it's dog's milk. People were throwing up, vomiting, spitting it out. And people like throw a fit over it because it's dog's milk. Why is it okay when you're drinking cow's milk?
I saw that. I know. It's perception. Just like the fact that we really love the taste of chicken, of, meat, of ham, whatever we're eating. We love the taste of milk and cheese. We love it because we've been conditioned to eat it. We're addicted to it. We truly are addicted. I mean, who in their right mind would say they love animals in their right mind and then chew on a chicken leg? Here's a chicken's leg. I'm chewing on it, and I'm saying, I love animals.
No, you don't. And I've been guilty of that myself. I grew up in a family where we hunted and fished, and, meat and dairy were staples in our house every day, just like, most folks growing up. And once you start changing that perception, it's incredible the excuses that come out from your family, from your friends. To this day, my dad and I are at odds over this, and, that's unfortunate. But it's incredible how people will dig up every excuse under the sun to dance around the issue, and they don't want to realize that that is an animal, and it's no different than your golden retriever stew on the table. Exactly.
I'm trying to figure out how to share this video on my live feed. Can I do that?
When you went live with me, your followers got notified that you were live.
Oh, they did. Good. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
So then,
great.
What I will do, I will share this out on my YouTube channel. I have to kind of go through a process so I can get both of our video feeds together, and then I will send all of that to you so you have it. And Rowdy can do what he needs to do with it. So
no, that's good. We don't have to spend the airtime talking about it. I just was wondering. I want to make sure I was on my feed, but. Yeah.
No, absolutely. So, it's just, I have a personal connection with you because what you are doing for our friends, the Barretts. And I
Oh,
know they're not the only folks that you're helping, but Jennifer and Rodney are just some incredible people that Becky and I really are thankful that we've met and come across and come connected with. And when she told us, I'd been following Rowdy Girl Sanctuary, and when we found out that you were going to be helping them, like, man, I just knew the fit and the feel that was going to bring to this whole movement and this journey was incredible, because I know them, I love them, I appreciate what they're doing, because, you've done it. You know how it feels to step out of that community, but to know that you're helping them and that the Ranters Advocacy Program is being a part of all this has just been outstanding for them. And I love watching this journey, and I really appreciate all that you do and bring to this movement.
oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, I can't do anything else and be okay. This is what I was brought on this planet to do. I know that now. I only thought that I knew what I was supposed to be when I grew up, and nothing could have ever prepared me to believe for 1 minute that I would have ever chosen to be the founder of the first documented beef cattle ranch in history. Who does that? I mean, really, and all I know is it was a choice I made out of desperation of my own sanity. It was almost as if I didn't choose that, I was going to burn in hell type feeling. This was the ethical act that I made that I really do believe saved my soul, and has redeemed me from, being in holy hell on earth by being, conditioned to eat and use animals and never think about them and turn a blind eye to their suffering. I mean, we are, as humans, capable of so much compassion. And the fact that we condone, participate in, and use our hard-earned money to fund violence, it's so remarkable from the mindset of a vegan.
Yeah.
Once you cross over that great divide, there's no turning back if you go vegan for the animals. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And when this happens, it's as if there's been a parallel reality all along. It's as if the world I was seeing was the dark side of the moon. And when the focus of my vegan ethics came in, I was seeing the light for the first time. It's daunting. It's unbelievable. It creates an unshakable conviction. I'm grateful that people go vegan for their health and for the environment. Don't get me wrong. But man, when you do it for the animals, when you finally break through that cult-like training and experience that we've all been indoctrinated in, if we eat animals, then, we know.
It's so funny once you make that change, and it really lights up your world. So Becky and I, on our first date, my wife and I, when we had our very first date, I've shared this before, we went to Young's Jersey Dairy. We ate there, and, if you would have told us then that we'd end up being vegan for animals and start this kind of stuff, we both would have laughed and snickered. But she's always had an affinity for animals. She's always struggled when, the kids would be like, oh, this was a chicken or a cow. She would push her plate away, and then finally, it got to the point where she had enough, and she called me at work and said, I'm done eating meat, and hung up on me. Because she knew that.
Wow.
She knew that I was not going to respond very well, being a hunter, being his man, which is a bunch of crap. So, it's so funny when you finally let go and you let all this into your life, how you see that perspective shift. We had rescued a cow from slaughter, and I had posted a post on Facebook, and I said, oh my God, my neighbor's dog, he's outside in the freezing cold, he's got no water, he's covered in his own feces, who do I call? Immediately, I had 20 friends comment, call the sheriff's department, call the Humane Society, call Siska, call every shelter you could think of. And all of a sudden, I posted a picture of this dog I was talking about, and it was our cow we'd rescued. he was covered in feces because the place we pulled him out of, he was standing in 8 inches of his own feces and urine.
Oh.
And as soon as I posted that picture of this cow, not another comment.
Wow.
Because that perception is that that's okay.
Exactly.
And it's not okay. And folks that know me, they know if my neighbor was treating their dog that way, I'd hop the fence and take the dog and take care of it. So, but once you let that perception, once you lift that veil, you can't unsee this. You can't go back to making those excuses that we've all made. And I really appreciate your approach to that, because I can't yell at a farmer, a rancher, or a hunter for doing what they've done. I've done most of those things. You've done most of those things. And, I want to encourage and educate people to come to this movement and to make their own journey and start their own journey, because it's important that we all get there on our own terms. Just like you came after Tommy, you came in through the back door on him and he didn't even know it was coming in. So that is incredible.
We do it with everybody. If we go in everybody's back door, they get to make the decisions on their own. People need to make their own decisions. We can't make people change, even though I did my damnedest to make Tommy change. I really did. I put every video out there in front of him, and it did finally work. But it was because he was willing to actually preview the documentaries. Some people out there are so close-minded they won't even look at them, even if they aren't slaughterhouse videos, because they do not want anything to contradict their beloved belief in normalized violence. And I got to tell you this, because I don't know. I like to tell everybody, because Dr. Sailesh Rao opened this. No, it wasn't Dr. Sailesh. It was Dr. Will Tuttle, which is going to be on a Texas tour, by the way. Dr. Will Tuttle wrote the amazing book, The World Peace Diet. It's translated in, 10, 12 languages, something like that. He's an amazing man. He was on Cowspiracy and many other documentaries. But Dr. Will Tuttle says in his book, which should be a textbook, by the way, in our school system, he says that the word capitalism in our very society was actually, if you look back in the genealogy of the words and the way, what they really mean, it's from the word capita, and I think it's the Greek word capita, which means head, which means back then translated as head of cattle. So the big question was always, how many head of cattle you got? How many heads you got? It was all about how many animals you had. It equaled wealth. That's how our capitalism was established. And then he goes on to talk about, because I love to study words, the genealogy of words. The word livestock, stock market. Our stock market was actually created on the backs of animals. And the word pecuniary, it means animal. Pecuniary means animal. And our pecuniary in our world, in our finance world, it means money. It means like our money system. So our entire money system, pecuniary system, is based on the backs of animals. And then if you want to drive it even further, all the way to where it really began, the word war. The word war, when you distill it down to the Sanskrit word from thousands and thousands, about 8,000 to 10,000 years ago, the word war means the desire for more cattle. We have fought for land. We have tried to steal land, take land, fight over land, bleed over land. Everything is about the desire for more animals, particularly cows.
That's incredible.
It's done, doesn't it? When I first learned this, I was like, oh my effing God. This is the deal right here. This is the crux of the matter. So we have to, the more we create new systems, which is something Dr. Sailesh Rao is doing with his Vegan World 2026 movement, the more we develop new systems and ways to do things, like the Rancher Advocacy Program is a way to to teach ranchers and animal farmers that there is another way. It's not telling them, by God, you guys suck, you're wrong, you're doing it all wrong, you got to do it this way or else. It's not. It's offering another system. So the more people see that they can do it different, we can create a new system, the more the old system will fall away. We can't force people out of the system. It's the roots are so deep. That's why we don't have much time. It's really important that we all, as vegans, become activists. We must find our voice. We must find that force of nature within us, as you said in the very beginning. See, I just don't really give a shit. I'll take the bullet in the street right now for this cause. And that's the reason I'm a force of nature, if you call it that. It's because I am right there. I really don't care what people think. You know, but I've learned to deliver my message in a way that makes people think. And I'm grateful for that. I'm really grateful.
Yes.
That somehow I've managed to find that out in my 61 years. Good. It's a good thing. We all need to be there. We all need to find it.
You have mastered that way to deliver that message of I don't give a shit. and make people think about what you're saying and what you're doing. Just like when you were asking for almond creamer at Buc-ee's. You never know when those situations are going to come up that you have that opportunity to plant a seed with someone, and that those seeds grow as people start planting them. But you're absolutely right. People need to find their voice. They need to get out there and they need to share these stories. They need to share this information. Talking to you this morning, like this is like going to vegan church. This has been absolutely incredible. I have learned, you know, I had no idea where the etymology of those words began.
Yeah,
And I think, wow. Becky and I are infants in this movement in our journey. We've been vegan for a year, but this has become something that's so passionate to me. I take any opportunity, whether I'm in the grocery store or I'm at work, someone brings something up, I'm going to drop something on them. And,
Me too. Hey, I do right in the grocery line,
Yes.
like at Kroger or whatever. I'll be in the line, whoever's next to me, I'll look in their basket and I'll look at mine and I'll you know what I'll do? I'll ask people. I'll say, so what do you think the biggest difference in your basket and mine is? I don't tell them they're a bad person.
No.
I don't tell them they got meat in their basket or eggs or whatever. They look at my basket and they'll look at mine and they'll look at theirs and they're like, well, you don't have any meat. And I'm like, really? Wow, you noticed that. And I'm like, but I said, but I do have some meat. It's just plant-based. This is plant-based. Did you know that, Gardein makes a plant-based chicken and that it doesn't, kill the animal or people or the environment? And did you know that? So it causes them to answer me rather than say, well, you're eating chicken, so you are a murderer. I might could get away with that with my husband because I was a fledgling vegan at the time. But I'm not going to tell people in the grocery line that they're murderers.
Right. It's so funny because my wife, she is much more shy and much more reserved than I am. I can do that, but when I start doing that in the grocery store, she's 3 aisles over and she's gone. So
my husband's the same way. He won't even go grocery shopping with me. Really, he doesn't like to. He's like, you go down your aisles, I'll go down mine.
That is hilarious. Well, her and Tommy would get along swimmingly because that's she's very passionate about this, but not everyone has that ability to strike up that conversation with the stranger in line. And God love you for it, because I think those are the seeds that when they get planted, they're powerful. They are very powerful, because when you start questioning your own motives and your own purchases in your cart, it really makes you think, well, why would I buy this option that caused pain and death to an animal when I could buy these Gardein chicken strips, which are A, delicious, and B, not causing harm and death to these animals?
What was really funny at this grocery store? They finally started carrying Beyond Meat. I mean, I went in there, I know, for a couple of months. Every time I'd go in there, I was like, I'd go to the butcher section. Right there where they cut all the meat up, and they got them white aprons on with blood all over them. And I look at them and do y'all have any Beyond Meat burgers back there? I mean, and I would throw on the Texas accent. I mean, I have it anyway, but man, when I want to, I can really throw it on. And y'all got any Beyond Meat burgers back there? And they were like, what? What's that? You know,
What
first
the hell are
time
you
I
talking
asked,
about?
it's plant-based hamburgers. Come on, you got to know about Beyond Meat. If you don't know, you better know. And I said, you know, the people are buying them. Grocery stores are putting them right here in the meat case because, you know, people are getting sick and tired of eating those dead carcasses. You know, I said, I for one, I'm just sick and tired of eating, you know, fleshy dead animals. And I would say, and the butcher would look at me like, what the hell? And I'm like, well, I'm serious. You know, I don't want to eat that shit anymore. So I need an alternative. So you better start getting one in here because it's coming. And so I would do this. And, you know, it's just, I have a right as a consumer to ask for, and not only ask, but demand to have the food I want to eat for my family. And the alternatives are there. But a lot of these people, especially in the butcher section, they don't like that. They finally got the product in, but they hid it in the back room in the freezer. And so I had to go in like I was looking for drugs every time I wanted to. Every time, I mean, you know, back in the day, right? Back way then, you know. I mean, I had to go in the butcher department and I say, hey, y'all got any of that Beyond Meat back there in the back? You know, and I mean, for real. And finally I said, well, they said, well, how many you want? I said, give me all you got. I want all of them. So I did that over and over. And now finally they put the Beyond Meat in the cases, in the freezers that, you know, where you can buy them in front of everybody. They're usually beside the turkeys or something. But now they have them. But, you know, if we don't strike up, find our voice, and have these conversations with the people that supply us food, then they're not going to do these things. So, heck yeah, man.
They're not going to do it out of the kindness of their hearts. They're going to do it out of the effect it has on their wallets. If you look at Cargill, if you look at Tyson, these companies are investing in plant-based alternatives because they see the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
So it's important that we ask our grocery stores to start carrying these products, because the more we ask for them, the more we buy them, the more they make money, and the more other companies are going to absolutely fall in line and start producing other products that we want to eat, that we should be eating. And that is a win all the way around, because it's better for the animals, it's better for the environment, and it's better for us.
Exactly. You know what, I'm going to get to go. In fact, I'm leaving on the 1st. I'm flying into Berkeley. I'm speaking at the Conscious Eating Conference. The United Poultry Concerns does a conference every year called Conscious Eating. Mm-hmm. If y'all are out there in Berkeley, please come. Or if you want to, you know, plan to come, there's, you know, Bruce Friedrich with Good Food Institute is going to be there. Leah Garces with Mercy for Animals, she's the president. She's going to be there. And so it's going to be a great, just a great great conference. They're even going to have a cell-based meat debate, which is going to be freaking phenomenal. I cannot wait. Jane Velez Mitchell is supposed to be there filming and going live. Ryuji will be there with me going live. So that's this Saturday, March the 2nd. So mark your calendars. We're going to be going live too, I think. And also, if you can be there. I'd love to meet you. And then after that, on the 3rd, March 3rd, I'm going to be spending the day with Miyoko. That's Miyoko's cheese.
That is some good stuff.
I love Miyoko's cheese. You know, all those great plant-based cheeses. But Miyoko, let me tell you, she's the queen of cheese. And I'm going to be meeting with her at Compassion Ranchero, her sanctuary. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be talking about how she can get involved with Ranchers Advocacy Program. I've known Miyoko a long time. Since I've been in this movement, she was one of the very first, you know, vegans I met in 2015 at the Marshall Health Conference back in 2015. And she donated to Rowdy Girl Sanctuary right when we first got started and continued to support us. So Miyoko is another force of nature, for sure. And so we're going to be meeting up. And then that evening on March 3rd, I'll be at the Animal Rights Center doing a workshop on the Rancher Advocacy Program. So, and then for the following week, which is what I was getting to, I'm going to be at Expo West. And Expo West is all about new products that are on the market, new organic, new products. So I'm going to be learning all about the hemp, the mushrooms, all the new products that are coming onto the market. I'm going to be meeting lots of people in the movement. Going to have a meeting with Derek Sarno, which is with Wicked Meaty. And so, you know, a lot of good things are happening. Just hold on with everything you got. And if you're out there in the Berkeley area, Anaheim next week, please message me. I'd love to meet you.
That would be incredible. And Renee, I really appreciate all that you do for this movement, even for yourself. It's important that when you have a voice, you can use it and reach as many people as you can that'll listen. And you are such a busy woman and an inspiring woman that I really appreciate all that you do, and that you are out in this movement doing what you were put on this earth to do, to stir shit up.
Stir shit up. Yeah, one of the things I always, I don't know if your followers know this. Some of mine do, some may not, but it's I tell people more and more. Because I've been meditating for years. I speak in Sanskrit, Gurmukh, and I have a very rich morning spiritual life. Without my spiritual journey, without my meditation time, without listening to great gurus and saints that really make me think, I could never do this work. That's what my mind is grounded in. Is in Gurmukh they call it Satnam, which means truth is my name. The only way to really speak from my truth is to know it's who I am. I've got to own my truth, not somebody else's. And when I own my truth, what's truly eternal in me, internal in me, that came with me when I was born, my truth came with me, but my truth got covered up. But as soon as I find my truth, I can truly say, Satnam, truth is my name. And so when I come from that place, the world is waiting for you to wake up to your truth. And, if we don't have this powerful, rich meditation life, we are going around in the world just programmed to be what everybody else wants us to be, what everybody else wants to see. And, I'm grateful that I have, I've been on 10-day silent retreats where I actually, believe it or not, go silent for 10 days in a row on purpose to do nothing but reflect, listen, and learn about who I am at my core, at my spiritual core, who I really am. Because if we don't do that, then we can never be that force of nature. That force of nature comes from deep within, just like in the deep depths of the ocean. No matter what hurricane or force is happening on the outside, at the very center of that depth, it's tranquil. And when we can find that tranquility deep within us and live there, no matter what is going on, we too, all of you, will be that force of nature.
There is nothing that I can add to that other than amen and hallelujah. Renee, you are not just a force of nature. You are such a kind, compassionate woman, and you are someone that is so important to this movement, as everyone is, because everyone can contribute to this movement and to this journey. The reason I started this series is because I wanted to bring folks on who have impacted and influenced my journey. And I wanted to share other people's stories. People get tired of hearing my same story all over and over again, but I'm going to keep sharing it because it's going to resonate with someone. It's going to resonate with someone somewhere that they're going to make changes in their lives. So I wanted to bring folks on and give them a few minutes to share their story and share their passion for what they're doing. And what you're doing is incredible. And I just love and appreciate your passion. And what a wonderful, wonderful way to start this morning. And today being your 61st birthday, I cannot thank you enough for carving out some time for me today to come on here and drop some God's honest, open to goodness truth on all of us and to share this with everyone.
Well, thank you. It was my pleasure to do it, my pleasure, honestly.
Well, if there's anything that we all can do for you guys, you let us know. We'll do anything we can do to help. Anything you need help with our friends, the Barretts. We've got 7 kids, 6 of them still at home. So sometimes,
wow.
Yes, wow is one word for it. So
That's crazy. 6 kids.
We're a Brady Bunch plus 1. So my wife and I, we actually went to high school together. And then we went our separate ways. I was married for 13 years. She was married for 12. She had 2 boys. I had 4 daughters. And then we have a little boy together.
Wow.
So,
I'll tell you what, I have 124 kids. No, actually I have 132 kids, plus 135, counting my dogs and cats.
That's a lot of hooves, horns, and paws, yeah?
Yes. Plus all my volunteers out there in the world, I consider my kids.
You know, when you talk about volunteers, you know, something I think is so important. Not everyone can rescue an animal. Not everyone can, you know, do those things, but everyone is in a position where they cannot cause harm to these animals by keeping them off your plate. Not everyone can go to a sanctuary and volunteer, but those who can, they should, because just like your sanctuary, just like I had on For Them Sanctuary, Love Always, Big Island Sanctuary, they need volunteers. But if you're not able to physically go to these places, it's important to help monetarily. It's important to share their stories and share their journeys so other people who can go volunteer and can go donate do so as well. So I hope everyone out there will find a local sanctuary that they can support, someplace they believe in. And, you know, it takes all of us, and it's going to take all of us working hard to make huge changes in this movement.
Well, we're grateful for you as a member, Chris, and all of you out there that are members of Rowdy Girl Sanctuary. We need every one of you and more, you know, to really be able to be totally self-sustaining. You know, we have like 268 members right now. And so, you know, if you want to know more about that, you can always direct message me. But, you know, our members mean the world to us. So thank you, Chris, for joining us.
You're very welcome. We appreciate all that you do. And Renee, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your birthday. And again, thank you so much for coming on and giving me some time this morning to talk to you, because I don't know, man, this is definitely the highlight of my day other than going home to my wife.
Well, time's free. The free time don't cost you nothing. And it was my pleasure to spend this opportunity with you this morning, this space in the middle of what we call time.
Well,
love you, Chris. Thank you for what you're doing.
Love you too. And you guys take care of yourself. And I cannot wait to figure out a way my wife and I can get out to meet y'all.
I love it. Thank you, darling.
Be good. Happy birthday.
Bye-bye.